welcome back. I was playing. Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and the Pro. As always, it's Kenny, Ryan, and Brian, the guys that fucking matter. What's going on, my boys? How y'all doing?
What's up?
I'm ready today.
Energy's a little dead because Ryan knows what's coming from him. A little bit,
and he's nervous. That's why.
Segment later, so Ryan's energy is a little low today, guys. So we apologize in advance, or I apologize in advance because he better have his shit straight today. Anyway, getting straight to it. Sad news in the NBA. Bill Russell passed away. Legend. Everybody knows Bill Russell. You don't even got to say, hey, if you don't know, everybody knows Bill Russell, right? He passed away. I believe he was 88, if I'm not mistaken. But no, he's a Celtics legend. He has the most rings in NBA history. He has a lot of accolades. Back in I think it was in the 70s or 80s, he was considered the greatest player in the. Yeah, I'm not saying he played in the 70s, 80s, but I'm saying when they did a poll back.
That's what I thought. No,
but when they did a poll back in that time, they considered him the greatest player ever to play the game, right? So I'm all right. I know I'm good. Right? But no, so that's a big blow to the NBA family for sure. And then everything else in the league, nothing's really going on. Trade talks is still the same. They're trying to get KD. Boston's trying to get KD, right? Which is weird to me why they would want to do that, and why they were even think about trading Jaylen Brown. Like, that is interesting to me. So, Brian, you got a take on that?
Yeah, I just think it's the reason why they're considering it, if it's true, because these are just rumors, so it might not even be true. But if it is true, I think Boston is considering it because Jaylen Brown might not want to be on the team, might not want to extend when his contract comes up, because he might feel like he wants his own team. Like, he doesn't want to play second fiddle to Jason Tatum. Because no matter what anybody says, no matter how everybody plays, it's Jason Tatum's team first. It's just the way, that's just the pecking order.
Are we doing this argument again?
It sounds like
I'm just saying, it is Tatum's team.
So it sounds like it.
It's Tatum's team. Everybody acknowledges it.
No, everybody does not acknowledge it.
Except for Kenny.
The only person that acknowledges it is Brian. That's it.
No.
Show me where it says it's Jason Tatum's team. I've never seen that anywhere. I've never heard anybody say this is Jason Tatum's team. I've never heard of that. I've never.
Well, I guess you don't listen to anybody in the media.
What are you listening to? What are you listening to?
Anything. NBA.
Oh, no.
It's simulcast.
Yeah, like, I've never heard of that. I never.
This is your chance to plug your simulcast.
What's simulcast? Oh, the Boston one that I listen to.
The one that's probably
for 4 hours. For
4 hours is probably skewed and jaded to have you believe in all this false information that you're actually putting out on our episode right now, which we don't put out false information, and you're doing that right now. That's what you're doing.
Okay. But I mean, ultimately, I think it's rumors. I don't think it's even true.
About what, the trade stuff?
Yeah, I don't think.
KD?
I think that's Brooklyn trying to inflate the trade market.
Cool. Well, Jaylen Brown tweeted something which made it seem like he was like, "Dang, that's crazy," type of thing. So I don't know. Either way, I don't really think anybody gets traded. I think everybody stays where they're at, just because it's too much to give on everybody's part, right? They needed a couple other players with DeAndre Ayton getting traded and things like that. That didn't happen. So, yeah, that's all I have for NBA. College football, I'm pretty amped. I watched today, by the way, the top 25 greatest plays or comebacks in college football history, and it just got me fired up, man. And I watched the top 25 entrances. And of course, the number one was the Nittany Lions with the whiteout. Like, Penn State is pretty intense. But yeah, that's all I got. Anyway, go ahead, guys. I don't want to take all the time and make it Kenny show because it's not Kenny show.
Yeah, we good.
We got a lot of baseball, right?
Yeah, we do, because we just had the MLB trade deadline.
I got one thing to say.
Can't.
Oh yeah, so Juan Soto got traded away from the Washington Nationals to the San Diego Padres, and go ahead.
Your point?
Go ahead.
What a jerk!
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead.
Kenny. You got it.
No, go ahead.
What was the return?
I believe the pitcher Bell was a return. And
Who?
I forgot.
Okay, well, let me tell them what really happened because Kenny don't know.
You go, who?
God dang. Listen, Juan Soto got traded to the Padres, and so did Josh Bell.
That's what I was meant to say.
Who is a first baseman, not a pitcher. Okay? They both went to the Padres, and the Nationals got a bunch of prospects back. Really, nobody huge. I mean, they got a couple of MLB-type players, like reliever, I can't remember his name. It starts with an L, like Limit or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pitcher,
yeah. Probably the biggest get they got. No. The biggest get they got was Mackenzie Gore, who is a left-handed pitcher. I think he's like 23. And they got C.J. Abrams, which is a shortstop, which obviously the Padres don't really need that shortstop prospect because they got Tatis. Sure. So I think they're okay there. And then a couple other players. That was probably the biggest deal of the trade deadline. The Yankees, I know they got themselves Andrew Benintendi a couple days before the trade deadline, which to Kenny's credit, he did say something about, with Stanton going down, they might do something in the outfield, which, they did. I was surprised.
No, I know a little bit.
But to caveat that, Joey Gallo, who is an outfielder, got traded away from the Yankees. Yeah. So,
he's kind of past his prime.
Yeah, well, he's been having a terrible year, dude. Like, he's known to be a strikeout king, but man, he's even worse this year. Like, just terrible. So, and he wasn't hitting that many home runs this year. I think they were expecting like 40 from him, and he's not even close. Let's see. The Red Sox were weird. They trade away their starting catcher, who's probably one of the best defensive catchers in the league, and he's okay offensively. And they don't really have any catcher left that can really play MLB level. So that was weird. And then they go and trade for Eric Hosmer from the Padres. The Padres are paying all of his salary, $44 million over the next 4 years, I think it is. So the Red Sox get a player for free.
I wonder why they did that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they upgraded at first base because Eric Hosmer is a very good defensive first baseman, and the Red Sox first base production has been awful this year. But then they traded away their catcher, so I don't know why. It didn't make any sense to me.
Maybe somebody plays catchers that we don't know.
Maybe they're hoping that like Colton Wong can come up and do something. I don't know. Most people don't even know who that is. He was part of the Mookie Betts trade back in the day. He's like 24 or 25, something like that, and he still hasn't cracked the MLB. So I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. And they also got Tommy Pham from the I think he was with the Reds. The Brewers traded Hader to who was it? To the Braves, I believe.
Nice.
You're like, a moment of silence. Like, golly.
Let's put it this way: he's been one of the best relievers in the game, if not the best reliever or closer in the game for the last 3 or 4 years. So, huge get there. I can't really think of any other big moves. The Dodgers were kind of quiet a little bit. They're the ones that got Gallo, so they're just hoping that he can rebound or something, play better in the warmer air.
Most guys do though, for some reason. Like, they get to LA and then it's like new life. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Well, it's the cocaine.
Well, I mean, for a power guy, though, the ball will carry more. I mean, it's the cocaine. Jesus Christ.
What? Hollywood?
Let's see. I don't know.
What about the standings?
But
all right, yeah. Tell me the standings. Let's go, man. Well, come on. What do we got to control the flow of your freaking segment? Let's do this.
Golly. Hold your hand.
Listen, I also wanted to bring up something else. If you guys will let me get to it.
I don't know what you're doing. Bring it up.
Vince Scully died.
Oh, no.
Okay, I would if you'd shut up.
Now it seems like I'm laughing at that, and I'm not.
Vince Scully passed away. He was 94 years old. He was a legendary announcer for the Dodgers for several decades. So that was a big icon gone, which is weird. 2 icons from 2 different sports within a week of each other. Like it's
Conspiracy.
Like bad things happen in threes. Yeah, bad things happen in threes. So someone else is going next. I wonder who it will
baseball, basketball. What do we got? Well, someone in football's got to go. Jerry Jones.
Who's Jim Brown?
Jesus. Jeez.
I mean,
Stop.
How did we get down this path? Oh my god.
Brian's sick, man. Give us the standings. Let's go. What are the Red Sox doing?
The Red Sox suck, bro.
No,
they're only 2.5 games back in the wild card, which is crazy because they have sucked lately, and I think they still suck. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I hope they.
I just love seeing them below the Orioles.
Dude, they're below everybody. They're last in their division.
Yeah,
last.
So how are they 2.5 games back? Oh, you said in the division. Never mind.
In the wild card, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't understand that.
Because there's 3 wild cards now, Kenny, because baseball decided to expand the playoffs again, which I think is just so dumb.
So how does that work?
How many teams make the playoffs?
6.
So one team are, if depending on how they're slated, they already get a power,
I think.
Right? And then
I think it's 6 or maybe it's 7.
It should probably be 7 then, because that's the off.
Yeah, I think it is 7. It's 7.
So a wild card team plays each other, then they play another game against the number 1 wild card team.
I don't even know the structure.
It just sounds weird. It probably sounds like that. They do stuff like that all the time, so that probably sounds right.
And they're trying to get attention, man. Revenue, bruh.
Yeah, revenue. Yeah. Nah, but anyways, the Yankees killing it still. So they're 70-36. They're gonna easily walk away with the division. The Twins and are in the lead right now in the Central, but the Guardians are 1 game behind them, and the White Sox, surprisingly, are only 2 behind them. So that's going to be a nice little race there for the division. Plus, both those teams, the Guardians and the White Sox, are in the wild card right now, or in the race anyways. And then Houston walking away with the West. Seattle still pretty hot. And then they're going to be competing for that wild card spot as well. So we'll see. The wild card is really where the race is at in the AL, because the divisions are mostly locked up. NL, you got the Mets. The Braves are 3.5 back now. They've kind of slid a little bit. I think they were right on their asses earlier, but they've slid back a little bit. Milwaukee is leading the Central. Cardinals are 2 back from them. And then they got the Dodgers. They're going to easily walk away with the West, so no point in talking about anybody else except for the Padres did upgrade, so we'll see if they make a run. They're in the wild card contention right now. I don't think they're going to make up 11.5 games on the Dodgers. It just doesn't seem likely. So, but anything's possible, I guess. That's it.
Man, that's some beautiful stuff. Great job, Brian. I'm really proud of you. Can we get to the NFL now?
Go ahead.
No.
Is anything going on in hockey? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man. They're all partying and stuff. Yeah. It's the off season.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So I'm gonna start off with some good news because we got some bad news stuff coming up. Deebo Samuel has been given the bag with a 3-year contract extension worth up to $73.5 million. There are some incentives. So it sounds like he had a holdout because he didn't like his utilization last year. I mean, he did like his utilization, but he wants to be compensated for running the ball. So there are some incentives in his contract that trigger some bonuses of like $500,000 for over 400 yards rushing or over 300 yards rushing. I don't know the specifics of it, but he does have some escalators in his contract that allows him to earn some more money depending on how he's utilized in the offense. So he just wanted to get paid for being the player he is, and he got paid. So he's gonna make a ton of money.
$73 million. Do you think that's low for him for extension?
No,
because he doesn't still have a year or 2 on his contract right now.
He was holding out. He wasn't showing up.
Yeah,
Or he was going to hold out.
Yeah, but it's an extension, right? It's not like they signed him to or re-signed him, right? It's an extension, so meaning that he still had years left on his contract.
Yeah, he did. I don't know how many more years he had left on his contract because he wasn't a high draft pick, right?
Nah, I think he was either fourth or fifth rounder, if I'm not mistaken, something like that.
Yeah.
But either way, it just I don't know why 73 seems low to me.
I mean, that's like $24.5 million a year.
But he's not getting that a year though, right? So like,
well, it's worth up to. The only guaranteed amount is 58.1 million is guaranteed.
I'll take that. That's not bad.
I'll take that.
No, I'm just saying, like, for him, what the utilization that he had last year, you would think that he would get more, right? You would think he would get closer to like 100 million or something like that, just because they used him all over the place, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't want to give him more. Maybe his current contract is already including some of that money.
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying. Like only 3 years. Like I would think they try to like, sign him longer, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my spill.
It's all good, but I figured that was your chance to rub it in that Debo over Brandon Ayuk, but I guess you missed that boat. Moving on.
No.
Moving on.
Well, I'm gonna rub it in. You know the truth.
Just so you know, his last 2 years are void years. So it's really only 4 years on his deal now, because the last 2 years are void years.
All right.
But what was
way to look that up, Brian?
What was the next year he's gonna get though? How much money was he going to get this next year?
I don't know.
He closed it out.
It's six and a half right now.
He closed it out.
No, like right now, his dead cap, if they were to cut him right now, it's 41 million dead cap. So that's what bonus he has left after this year.
Okay, I'll look it up.
According to Spotrac.
Yeah. That's the best.
Go ahead, Ron.
I'm going to run through some injury highlights. If I miss them, just tell me and let me know.
Round. I was wrong. Sorry.
Second.
I just wanted to put that out there. Second round.
Van Jefferson, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams, goes down with a knee injury. It sounds like he had surgery, but it wasn't like an ACL or anything. So, but he's in doubt for week 1, but that kind of ruins his momentum going into the season. James Washington, the wide receiver for the Cowboys, went down with a knee injury. He did tear his ACL and is out for the rest of the year. Kyler got COVID.
Murray?
So, yeah.
During film session? Or?
Yeah. The Steelers signed the... Yeah. The Steelers... Why?
Just because it wouldn't make sense. Like, he wouldn't get COVID if they were staying in a hotel. Because you can't really go to many places. You go to hotel facility. So they must have them at home.
Maybe he had a visitor at his hotel room.
Yeah, they ain't supposed to do that. So anyway,
well, I'm sure that they do what they want.
And I lied to you. James Washington has a broken foot, so he's gonna miss 6 to 10 weeks. Sorry, thought it was worse than that. Shake it off, man. The Steelers signed their kicker to a 4-year deal. If you like kicker news,
we're talking about kickers.
Hey, man, we're going down the line. Hey, the Hall of Fame game's tomorrow. We're going down the list. Yeah,
You know, that's the first person I met when I was in New York.
What, really?
Yes, no bullshit.
See,
I walked in there and I was like, man, he was like, hey man, how you doing? Da, 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 da. And I was like, man, what's going on? I was like, you're a rookie. He's like, no, this is my second team. I got cut from the Texans before, so I'm just trying to make the squad.
$20 million.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing him now, man. Because they cut him and he came in the last week of preseason and hit like 5 or 6 field goals, and then the Steelers signed him and it was over.
Beast.
Bag sense.
Hey, shoot. Now you messed me up.
Sorry, my bad.
I don't even know.
I'm going to keep saying my bad because I don't want to take over the time.
The Hall of Fame game's tomorrow, so I'm getting hyped for that, even though it's going to be no one.
Nobody's playing.
If you know people that are playing, then good on you. But I don't know any of the players that are going to be there because Trevor Lawrence is sitting out. ETN's not going to play, which I get it, but selfishly, I just want to watch him play because I heard that he looks great in training camp. But I mean, you can't believe anything nowadays.
In training camp.
That's true. Everyone looks good except for Mitchell Trubisky. Apparently, there are reports that Mitchell Trubisky looks like he's struggling with the first team in training camp. So it's either A, he's actually struggling, or B, Steelers are already trying to put it out in the media to get their boy Kenny Pickett to have fans start asking Pickett to come out to play.
If you want to win, let Pickett spin.
Yeah.
Even though I think he's not good, but
Hey, the ACL injury that did happen for sure was the Broncos wide receiver Tim Patrick. That one did happen. And then Irv Smith coming back from an injury last year. He undergoes a thumb injury, so he had surgery, and he's not ruled out for the season opener, but he can't get it. So if you're looking at him for a fantasy wide receiver, like a sleeper one, towards the beginning of the year, he's not going to be great, but he might be someone you want to look for at the end of your draft with one of your last picks if you have an IR spot. You can just throw him in your IR.
He's a wide receiver now or a tight end?
Tight end. He's a tight end, but I mean,
I know they tweener, like a little tweener.
Yeah, usually, well, because what's his name? Adam Thielen is, I think he's going to be like 32, 33 this year. I mean, Jordy Nelson dropped off at like 32. He went from like the number one wide receiver to like wide receiver 48 or something ridiculous.
But Thielen already took a backseat last year.
Yep.
It wasn't a dramatic backseat, but he still took one last year. It's the Jefferson show.
Oh, Marquise Brown was arrested for criminal speeding? Sweet.
What's up with these fast receivers speeding?
Come on.
Like, you run fast enough. Like, calm down.
Hey, the Cowboys signed Anthony Barr, linebacker from the Vikings. So that's a good signing for them. All right, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to get into the big news. All right, okay. So first I'm going to go with one Brian I know will like.
Let's do it.
Well, let's do this one first for Brian.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So the Dolphins are losing 2 draft picks. They are losing their first round in the 2023 draft. And where's the other draft? It's a third rounder than the 2024 draft. And their owner is suspended through October 17th, which I could argue helps them. Whatever that means.
Like, what do you mean suspended?
He can't go to the game. Cool. I watch it on my TV at my mansion.
No.
Oh, darn. So if you're not aware, the NFL was doing an independent investigation on the Miami Dolphins with regards to tampering, illegal tampering with other players that were under contract and other coaches that were under contract, as well as the claims that Brian Flores made about being paid off by the Miami Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, to throw games to increase their draft stock. The independent investigator determined there was no evidence that Ross had ordered the team's former coach, Brian Flores, to throw games. So that was thrown out, which kind of pissed off Brian Flores. But it was determined that Ross offered to pay Flores $100,000 for each game the Dolphins lost. So
It doesn't even make sense.
I don't know what that means. It just was.
Sounds like an incentive to lose to me.
Yeah. Didn't pay him to lose, but told him if you did lose, I'll give you $100,000 for each one you did lose. Like, what?
Oh man,
NFL's shady.
I'm telling you.
All right. So this is wild to me because here's the 2 instances of tampering that they caught the Dolphins with. One, Tom Brady in 2019 when he was leaving the Patriots or getting ready to leave the Patriots. The Dolphins were actively reaching out to Brady to try and get him over to the Dolphins. They lost that one. So then in 2020, this last year, when Brady retires, they tried again to get Brady, hey, come play for the Dolphins. And at the same time, Sean Payton was retiring from the New Orleans. They were also talking to Sean Payton. They were trying to marry up Sean Payton and Tom Brady in Miami to get back at the big bad Bill Belichick. And they couldn't do it. And not only that, they screwed up their future with the draft pick next year and were found as to be cheaters. What are your thoughts, Brian?
Oh, I mean, it's good that they came down hard on him. Like,
It's pretty bad.
if you actually, well, yeah, if you want to actually have a rule that you can't tamper, then you need to punish teams for doing it. And I know it goes on a whole lot more than this did. So hopefully they start stepping in a little bit more, and if they truly want to uphold this, or you could say that this might be a conspiracy thing, but it could be that they said, we're punishing you for the tampering because we want to sweep the Flores comments under the rug in regards to losing and getting paid for it, or didn't he have claims against the NFL about the racism with the coaching hiring process? Yeah. I think that they wanted to sweep that stuff under the rug and cover it up with this story of tampering, which I think every team tampers anyways. But that's just my conspiracy theory. You can take it for what it is.
Kenny, thoughts? No?
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts. Tua is still going to be one of the top quarterbacks coming out. They have a great team. Mike Jones, I like him. I like their squad. And whether the owner is there or not, who cares?
I can't believe you said Mike Jones without doing it the way you normally do.
Mike Jones. Who?
Listen, I think it's kind of interesting, the dynamic that the NFL is currently in right now. This massive hammer that they provided to the Dolphins comes like less than 24 hours after they give a soft little slap to Deshaun Watson of a 6-game suspension. Now, this is the opinion of the public opinion, not my opinion. I'm just giving the public opinion. The public opinion believes that this punishment, and I agree to some degree, because it's not consistent with what punishments that they've given out in the past. And that's the NFL for you. They just don't have consistency. I don't understand what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Let me just recap real quick. Deshaun Watson, the NFL decided that they were going to have this independent judge decide what the NFL is going to do or recommend what the NFL is going to do. And the NFL agreed that they were going to follow whatever this judge recommended. The judge recommended, after looking at all the cases and everything, said you should give him 6-game suspension. And then the NFL came out and upheld this suspension, but now they are appealing their suspension after the fact. Like, I don't understand. They made a ruling, a decision to follow something, and then was like, nah, we didn't like that. So now we're going to do something. Like, just why waste this judge's time? Sue L. Robinson, why waste her time making a decision if you're just going to be like, nah, that wasn't strong enough? Maybe she was a masseuse. Maybe she was one of the masseuses.
Oh, cut it out. I'm going to say this, right? It's not the NFL thing. It's a society thing, right? Nobody had an issue in the NFL with the 6 games until it was an outcry from society saying, what? Only 6 games? Only 6 games? And we live in an environment where we give the people more voice than the people that's supposed to be in charge, right? If you are the commissioner, what you say goes, and call it a day. But people want to be a people pleaser so bad that when they heard the outcry, then they say, you know what? We need to go back to it and change it. We're going to appeal it. And to me, that's complete bullshit, right? It's a judicial system for a reason, right? You put it in place. You said you're going to follow it. Then just follow it, man. Like, if they gave 6 games, then it's 6 games. It's not like the man was playing last year. He was out a whole season, right? Cool. So 6 games. Okay, I think that's enough. You think about total is 18 games, right? Think about how much money he's already lost. Think about how his image is already tarnished already, right? And I get it. Guys are going to say, well, hey, I served more games doing blase or failing a drug test or whatever the case may be. Yes, I understand that. But the difference between that and this is that the civil case, those charges was, they didn't find anything at the time, right? I don't know if it's still open or not, right?
There's some still open.
Some are still open, right? Some are closed, right? So they didn't find anything currently. Settled, sorry. So okay, that's fine. A lot of people pay people off, right? What did Pat Kraft do, right? So with that being said, that happened, right? Then you think about it after that, it's like you failed a drug test. This man set out all last season. So that is the same thing to me in my eyes. Yeah, the NFL didn't say, oh my gosh, you're banned, you're not supposed to play. He chose to sit out, right? Because he didn't want to play for the Texans. I get it. That's the rule. Oh, he did it by choice. Well, he did. He served a whole year suspension. So at the end of the day, he did what he was supposed to do, and he did not play. His image was tarnished. What more do you want? What you gonna? They come back. Oh yeah, well we're gonna suspend him for another season, and then people are gonna say, well that's not enough either. He should not play in the NFL ever again. Then what are you gonna do then? You're gonna say, oh well that's not enough. It's like stick to your guns and call it a day. Society, we give people too much credit to let them determine what they think is right and wrong, and it doesn't. Right? Half people can't even go to their job on time and do the things right at their job, but we're giving them a voice to say, oh, well, NFL, I think you should do this, or I think you should do that. No, y'all need to focus on what you guys, your career-wise, is. That's just my opinion, so I'm done.
I love it.
Yeah, I just want to say...
Trash. Whatever you're saying is trash.
I think the NFL needs to either be extremely harsh and actually follow through with their punishments, or they need to just butt out of the judicial system altogether and let the courts take care of it. And then if there is a guilty, finding,
yes,
then you can take action. But until then, it should be separate. Or if you want this image of,
big bad commissioner.
It started back with the Ray Rice stuff, and the dude that pushed his girlfriend on the bed of assault rifles, I forget his name. Is that
Hardy?
Oh yeah, from Hardy.
Greg Hardy.
It was Hardy. Greg Hardy. I mean, I'm just saying, there's a history of the NFL trying to present this image of that they are, I guess the judges of what's right and wrong in someone's personal
this
life.
Conduct detrimental to the league thing is so stupid to me. Because it's, first off, that phrase itself is subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm just saying, they need to butt out, is what I think. Or they need to come down hard on them and just stick to their guns and go with it.
And you have to hold everybody to that standard.
The public outcry, change it.
Right? Hold everybody to that standard.
Yep.
Because I would say the owners don't get held to that standard. Right? They don't.
Dude, they get suspended. They can't watch the games. Annie.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine paying for a stadium and saying you can't go to it. Saying you're suspended from going to your house. That's my house I built.
Okay. That's bullshit. But, Brian, to your point, right? How many games did Greg Hardy serve? Why wasn't it 9 games Greg Hardy did?
I don't remember what he served. I know Ray Rice was only 2.
I thought Ray Rice was suspended for a year. It was only 2 games? I thought it was
it was
2 or something.
I thought it was short.
I thought it was something short, and then the NFL came back, and then they said, okay, they had to reappeal it, kind of.
I think
what it was is it happened near the end of the season, so it happened to be shorter because it was the end of the season.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
Okay.
And they let him come back the next year.
Either way.
Yeah, he was suspended 2 games on July 24th, and then on September 8th, he was suspended indefinitely.
Okay. That's the difference, right?
After he was released.
But he should have been suspended indefinitely, right?
And this was no. They said that he would. Remember, this is what happened with the NFL. They gave him a 2-game suspension, and then the video came out of him actually slapping her, and the NFL was like, "We never saw this video. We never saw this in our life."
Yeah. Right.
and then they were like, "You are now suspended indefinitely." Now that we saw her actually getting hit, we thought you just hit her. We didn't know you hit her.
and that's the same thing that King's talking about. They let the public make the judgment.
And that's
because if the public never saw that video,
nothing.
Because I think the NFL did
100%.
see it.
Oh, for sure.
But
you can't tell me they don't.
If the people didn't see it, then nobody would have cared. Really, I mean, people still would have cared a little bit because 2 games is a little light for those allegations.
Well, it was at the first. That was the first of those allegations.
It was subjective too, though, right? Because you like, oh, they got in, he hit her. Everybody's like, oh, what? Did he push her? Right? Did he just shove her? And then when you look at it, it's like, no, Buddy beat her, right? And then everybody's like, so you tell me the NFL, even though they're going to say they didn't see it, they definitely saw it, and it didn't bother them to suspend for indefinitely, right? They're like, oh, 2 games ain't, whatever. That tells you the type of thought process they had, that they don't really care about anything but the dollar. That's it.
Yeah, they want the perception of that they care,
Exactly.
but they don't really care.
Exactly.
Did you know that Greg Hardy was suspended 10 games and then they moved it down to 4 games during his appeal? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Said 9. I was a game off. So
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
We could do this topic all
right.
I think that's it, man. I mean, I don't.
All right.
Just keep an eye on the news for stuff, because Brian, right before this, and I didn't want to say it, but he said we saw a inkling or a report or a tweet or something that Dalvin Cook was escorted off the field with a apparent injury. Now, that's all it.
Well, what did I say? What do you think about that?
I'm not going to believe it until I see it. But go ahead.
All right. Well, that is just super convenient, because I told you guys we're going to give you 5 weeks of fantasy, right? Making sure that you guys are set for the fantasy football, draft pick'ems, or not draft pick'ems, for the draft and for your season. So last week we did quarterbacks. If you haven't looked at that, go check into our episode last week with the top 10 quarterbacks. But this week we're going over the top running backs. So anybody can go. Who do you guys have for your top running backs?
Go ahead, Ryan.
What? I don't want to hear Kenny cry.
Oh yeah, let me go. You want me to go first? Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna go with my first.
So you can butcher me.
I'm gonna go with my no, because I will not argue against yours, because I'm not a jerk like that.
I'm going to argue.
All right.
I'm going to argue.
All right. I'm gonna go with the RB1 from last year, Jonathan Taylor. Now, the reason, before you go crazy, he had 18 touchdowns on the ground last year. And that was with Carson Wentz. He's going to have more scoring opportunities with Matt Ryan, or just as many scoring opportunities with Matt Ryan. He's going to get in the end zone. I mean, if he would have played based on a points per game basis, if he would have played 14 games last year, he'd still be the RB1 overall from last year. He had 5 rushes over 40 yards, which led the NFL. He had 14 rushes over 20 yards, which led the NFL. And through 16 games, he was insane. He was tied for the most consecutive rushing touchdowns in a game. He was getting a touchdown every week. I think it was 11 in a row. And then one of the things that Kenny is going to argue about, and I will combat that right now, he is going to argue that Jonathan Taylor proceeds to get carries after carries after carries after carries, and it's going to run down his legs, and he's not going to be able to run like that. Well, I will let you know that he is running behind one of the best offensive lines in the league. Last year, he led the league with 870 yards before contact, meaning he ran 870 yards before he's even getting touched. And that's why I brought up the 5 plus 40-yard rushes, the 14 plus 20-yard rushes. He's making those rushes because he's behind a great offensive line. And even if his carries go down this year, he could still be the RB1. And this is Derrick Henry type numbers, because that's who he was on pace with last year. Derrick Henry is ridiculous, but he was on pace with him. And that's what I'm going to say. Jonathan Taylor, beast. Offensive line, beast. RB1.
I agree.
Brian.
Oh, and
I agree.
Hey, Kenny, to fill your other argument, because I know you like to look at the college stats, and Jonathan Taylor did, because we talked about this off podcast, but he did have, I think, over 6,000 yards and over 900 carries in college. That's ridiculous. Oof. You want to know another player that had over 900 carries in college? LaDainian Tomlinson. And I don't think it slowed him down one bit.
LaDainian Tomlinson and Jonathan Taylor are not in the same.
Why not?
Even.
Why not?
What?
What?
Don't.
Yeah, why not?
You guys are saying that Jonathan Taylor is just as good as LaDainian Tomlinson?
Not yet.
What?
At this point in their careers, maybe.
bro.
Like,
Bro.
where was LT in his, second or third year?
LT didn't have the best line in the league either, did he?
Oh,
And he still was cooking.
No.
He still was
Oh,
cooking.
so now we're good.
I'm not saying that was the point that Ryan put out, right? Ryan put out that point, and then I'm saying he still was cooking.
his
right?
his
To
first
Ryan's
year,
point, yeah.
he had 1,200 yards rushing with 339 carries, and then he topped it off with a 372 carry season with 1,600 yards rushing. Both.
I didn't say that. I said the best line in the league. I didn't say about his stats. I know his stats. His stats is crazy. That's my favorite running back.
I know,
So,
Kenny.
his
If
stats is
you were
crazy. I
sitting
know.
there in 2002, you'd have been like, "Dude, this guy had 900 carries in college. He just had 339 his rookie season, and then 372. There's no way he keeps it up." By the way, he keeps it up. 1,600 yards rushing, 1,300 yards rushing, 1,400 yards,
hey,
1,800,
hey.
14. Like, this man's a beast.
Hey, one guy.
That's not counting the
right?
receiving yards.
One guy, right? Hall of Famer. We're talking about a Hall of Famer. Jonathan Taylor is not a Hall of Famer yet.
I'm not
right?
saying he
Y'all-
is.
He has the pedigree to be one.
Oh my
Potential.
gosh, man! You know what kills me about y'all? So many people are always big on this potential thing, right? Oh, potential. They have the potential to do this. Bro, I got the potential to make $1 billion. Do I got $1 billion? No, I don't give a damn about potential. It's what you're doing now.
No,
right?
but it would be
He had one
promising
good
if
year.
you made 10 million last year and then 20 million the second year. I'd be like, he has a potential to. He has an increased potential to make $1 billion. Yes.
Okay, so with that point being said, right, he had a great year last year, right?
Yeah.
Nyheim Hines has not gone anywhere. You guys are high on Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is not Matt Ryan that from Super Bowl 50, right? They're not the same people.
He's better than
right?
Carson
So
Wentz. That's it.
Okay, that's what you think. You don't know that yet, right? You assume. I got it. You know, it's the preseason. Everybody looks good in preseason, right? That's what y'all said, right? With that being said, Jonathan Taylor, it's not RB1 because it's Derrick Henry. You can't have the doggone longevity of this guy do it year in, year out with 8, 9 people in the box every time and then say, oh, no, you had a foot injury, so now you fell back. What is going to happen when they put 9 guys in a box every time with Jonathan Taylor? And they say, no, we want Matt Ryan to beat us. What is he going to do then? You think that the O-line is going to stay on point and he's going to not get touched for 857 yards again? It's not going to happen. What thing that happens in the NFL is coaches look at what beat them last year and they take those away. So Frank Wright has to be on his P's and Q's in order for Jonathan Taylor to have another breakout performance like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Why not, Kenny?
So
He also led the league in yards after contact last year. So he was
last year?
yes, he was running against loaded boxes, and he was still leading the league in rushing.
He was not running against loaded boxes like Derrick Henry.
What, they were afraid of Carson Wentz?
bro?
It's the same situation.
It's not the same situation. It's not the same situation.
They both had the same situation. If anything, you could say Tennessee had better weapons to get thrown to.
Hey, chill out though. I like Michael Pittman. Chill out.
All right, y'all got it.
But Kenny, what you're not understanding is my love for Jonathan Taylor is not indicative of my hate for Derrick Henry. Because I do love Derrick Henry.
I don't care what y'all say. I know for sure that he's not going to have a baller year. I know 100%. 100%.
Well, did he have a baller
100%.
year his rookie season? Would you consider that a baller year?
I think he had a good rookie season. I think he didn't get the ball in the beginning, right? And he sustained a little bit, right? And most rookie running backs don't sustain. So I think he had a good year.
He was still the best, the fourth best running back in the league in fantasy.
Okay. Well, you want a cookie for that shit? I hear what you're saying. All I'm saying,
just give
is
the
that
man some
he's not going
respect.
to be- I didn't say he had respect.
He better be in your top. He better be in your top 5.
He's 5.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
As long as he's in your top 5, I don't care. As long as you consider your top 5 in a tier, same tier.
So since you guys are on the same boat, I might as well say mine because I'm obviously the devil's advocate here because you guys are on the same page, right? because obviously
Here, give your whole list, and then Brian will give his, and then I'll give mine.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead. My top 5, right? Derrick Henry, King Henry's number 1. Christian McCaffrey's number 2. I know y'all gonna wow y'all right here. Najee Harris is number 3. Austin Eckler's number 4. Jonathan Taylor's number 5. That's mine, right? Why Najee Harris number 3? Because right, no matter what, he's gonna get touches, and right, I get what you guys gonna say. Oh my gosh, but what about the line? All that. He doesn't have as much miles as Jonathan Taylor. So I think his legs are still going to be fresh. He's going to get touches because obviously their receivers is only Deontay Johnson, right? Like, what's his name? Chase Claypool. I don't like him. So with that being said, they're going to give the toast to Najee Harris. He's going to be productive, PPR wise, right? Austin Eckler is still going to get his touches just because they're going to give Austin Eckler action, right? That's the reason why Austin Eckler is in front of Jonathan Taylor, because he's going to get more catches, in my opinion. And I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to have as a productive season as he did last year. That's all I'm saying. That's my 5. 6, Joe Mixon. 7, Ezekiel Elliott. 8, Dalvin Cook. 9, Saquon Barkley. 10 is Alvin Kamara, pending that he doesn't get suspensions.
Oh, damn. You went all the way to 10.
Yeah, I just went through that because, yeah.
I mean, I went all the way to 30-something. Just
okay.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got anything to say about his?
Go ahead.
I think you're a little high on Najee Harris, and the reason why is I agree with everything you're saying. He's going to get the rock. He's going to get a lot of PPR action. But the one thing that he's going to be missing on is scoring opportunity, because Pittsburgh's offense is going to be near the bottom of the league this year. So with the lack of touchdown production, he's not going to be able to be in the top 5. That's what's going to separate him from the top 5, in my opinion. That's really the biggest one that I have a problem with, and the fact that you don't have Dalvin Cook up there, unless he really got hurt today, then we'll see.
Even if Dalvin Cook didn't get hurt, I don't like Dalvin Cook because I don't like how he plays. He's too sometime from me. He's a go streaky. He's streaky. He has 5-6 games, streaky, and then he gets hurt. He rolls his ankle. Like a player. Yes, I'm talking about for fantasy football. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It's multiple times in the last 4 years that he's been hurt and he's out for a couple games, and then it hurts you. That's what I'm saying.
But when he plays,
yes, he's a bona fide star. But
that's a 20-point game right there. Almost every day, every game, 20 points.
The last 3 years he's been so good. Even with those games, I factor Dalvin Cook whenever I project him out, like thinking like how good he's going to be. I know going into it, he's only going to play 14 games, around 14 games. And the fact that this guy's still like a top 5 RB every time, regardless of playing 14 games or not. Imagine if he played all 16, 17 games.
Hey, imagine if I knew all the numbers for the lotto. I'd have won it. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares about that shit.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Exactly.
All right, Brian, let's hear it.
No, but I do have Jonathan Taylor 1, Derrick Henry 2. Number 3's Dalvin Cook, 4 Austin Eckler, and then number 5 Christian McCaffrey.
This fucking guy copied my list.
See, I told you, y'all think alike.
I don't know.
That's why y'all won't win fantasy.
What? Were you in the playoffs last year, Kenny?
Yeah, I was.
I wasn't.
Oh. Wow.
I was in the playoffs.
I made it further.
Yeah, you did make it further, but you didn't win, so it doesn't matter. If you ain't first, then you're last. Ricky Bobby said that.
Okay.
I agree. I like your take, Kenny, about Derrick Henry. He is so good. Did you know he was the RB14 last year and he only played 10 games? But yeah,
I'm not laughing with y'all.
Why?
Because I have to put some calls in to make sure you guys get checked, get a brain scan, because something is wrong with y'all.
Why? What player is different? I like Najee Harris. Don't get me wrong.
Christian McCaffrey? He's not nowhere to be found?
He's my number 5.
Here's the thing with him. When he plays, he might be the best running back fantasy-wise in the league.
2 years?
The reason why he's 5 is because of the injury concern.
2 years, and now we're talking about when he plays.
I'm just saying he's like the most productive fantasy running back there is when he plays.
Did we just have this conversation about Dalvin Cook? Well, he's in your top 3.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook is 3.
Dalvin Cook is better than CMC?
I think that CMC's injury risk is higher than Dalvin Cook.
How?
Because CMC's played like 10 games the last 2 years or something like that. At least Dalvin Cook's gonna give me a majority of the season every year.
He had a pulled hamstring and a severe high ankle sprain. It wasn't like he just doggone bruised ribs or something like that. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean,
that's like saying a guy. Go ahead.
If we're erasing 2 games or 2 seasons from a guy's career and not counting it against him for injury, then Saquon Barkley should be top 5.
We're not erasing. I'm just saying that for him, saying that he's not even like he had whatever.
Kenny's so flustered. I love it. Look.
Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think any one of these running backs can make or break your season. Because, I mean, that's true for any first-round pick. But, I think any of them could be the top running back.
I hope that you guys, one of y'all, go first in our league so y'all can pick Jonathan Taylor. And then after he doesn't do what you guys expect, I'm going to say, I fucking told y'all so. I told you. I hope I can go first so then I don't pick him. And then people be like, you're stupid. You're an idiot. Yeah. And then when I pick somebody else and I pick Derrick Henry, he has more production, you guys are like, fuck, Kenny, how did you know? I'm saying I'm fucking Nostradamus. That's why. That's why I knew.
Nostradamus, yeah.
All right. You guys got me fueled up.
Hey, I got Nick Chubb at my 10 running back above Zeke and Saquon, but in that same category because I think they're going to run the ball a ton because if Watson is really out for 6 games and potentially the whole season, they're going to run the ball a ton. Jacoby Brissett is not it.
No. Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook are the same.
What?
They both get hurt. They both get hurt multiple games, but when they're in, they snap. They go off. But they both get hurt multiple games in the season. All the time. Nick Chubb always has some type of knee injury or sprain or something like that. Dalvin Cook always has some type of ankle or bruised ribs, something like that.
They're not the same.
They bad. To me, they are.
They're not because
Brian, what do you say? In my opinion, right? In my opinion, they are the same. In my opinion,
the
right?
difference is the Browns have more running backs behind them, where Kareem Hunt's taking some carries. Even D'Ernest Johnson is going to get in there sometimes.
Dalvin Cook averages like 50 catches or 50 targets. He's getting 40 catches easy every year.
Kareem Hunt takes all of those catches.
Okay,
just about against Nick.
All right. I don't even want to talk about this with you guys. Put something up. What are y'all saying? What's your bets? We could go ahead and transition to PK bets right now. What is you guys' bets that you guys are saying? I don't want to hear this. What are you saying? Jonathan Taylor is better than Derrick Henry, yes or no?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay. I'm saying this for fantasy. You guys got him number 1. So
okay, here's what you're not understanding about fantasy football, Kenny. Fantasy, you put people in tiers.
Of who you think is the best, right?
You put people in tiers.
Okay, even if it's tier 1, you still got somebody that's 1 and 2 in tier 1, right or wrong. If you had your option of taking Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor, who are you taking?
I'm taking Jonathan Taylor.
That's what I said. So, like, the bet makes sense. Derrick Henry versus Jonathan Taylor. Y'all saying that Jonathan Taylor is going to be better this year than Derrick Henry. That's what pretty much you're saying if you're going to take him before you take Derrick Henry. Right or wrong? That's what y'all saying.
Sure.
Yes or no?
Sure.
So what are we betting that doesn't happen? That he doesn't have more production than Jonathan Taylor? What are we betting?
Whatever you would like.
Caveats?
Whatever you would like, Kenny. Whatever you would like.
I don't need a caveat. Barring injuries.
Well,
That's what you want to say?
I mean,
No, I don't want that.
Injury?
I don't want barring injuries.
Okay.
Why don't you just do this? A per game average. Who has the higher per game average of games they play?
All right.
That's,
too easy.
I don't
Let's do
like
it.
that.
Why?
Because Derrick Henry would have had a better per game average last year than Jonathan Taylor. He had like 21 and a half points per game. Derrick Henry was on a tear last year, that season. Like he was. He was going to be better than Jonathan Taylor.
I'm glad that you said it because people are just stuck on stupid right now.
He was going to be. That's what I'm saying. Like the gap between these two is not huge. The only reason why I go Jonathan Taylor over Derrick Henry is because Jonathan Taylor at least gets a little bit more catching in the backfield.
All right.
And that matters in fantasy.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too. All right, guys. As always, man, tune in.
That was so awkward.
I'll just give y'all a hard time. Man. Hey, that's fine. Guys, 6 months from now, when I'm right and they're wrong, they're going to be like, damn, Kenny, you were right, just like you were right about Darren Waller. Right? But I won't make the same mistake that I did last year.
They were
by drafting Darren Waller. I won't make the same mistake. I won't draft Jonathan Taylor if I get first. I promise you I won't. That would
good. I hope I'm second.
Yeah, listen, you can have it. I'll throw the alley up to you all day. But yeah, man, I hope you guys appreciate our running back, or my running back standings or rankings, because Brian and Ryan are the one and the same, right? If you want Brian and Ryan's rankings, go ahead and go to CBS Sports or ESPN, because that's what it's going to be up there. They're going to have the same picks, right?
No, they won't.
So with that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to my rankings, because my rankings is the one that actually matters, right? But yeah, as always, follow, subscribe on all the social media channels. And next week, what we got next week? Wide receivers?
Wide receivers.
Wide receivers. Next
Probably
week we
have
have
to go top 10 on those at least.
Yeah,
because
that's
there's more.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys say. Next
Hot
week,
take.
right?
Hot take. Jamar Chase is not in my top 10.
Oof.
I'm just trolling. Go.
Oh, you sound like Kenny not taking Jonathan Taylor number 1. Oh shit. Golly. All right, y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Later.